Good evening, students. Today we are going to start Civics Chapter 4 Working of Institutions. आज मैं आपको Civics का Chapter 4 Working of Institutions के बारे में बताने जा रही हूँ. Previous video we covered up to first overview. How is a major policy decision a government order, the decision makers and need for parliament institutions. So today we are going to start first topic, parliament. In the example of the office memorandum, do you remember the role of parliament? Perhaps not, since this decision was not taken by parliament. You might think that parliament had no role in, but let us go back to the story and see whether parliament figures in the. Let us recall the points made earlier by completing the following sentences. The report of the Mandal Commission was discussed. The President of India mentioned this in this. The Prime Minister made the decision was not directly taken in Parliament, but parliamentary discussions on the report influenced and shaped the decision of the government. They brought pressure on the government to act on the Mandal recommendation. If Parliament was not a favor of this decision, the government could not have gone ahead with it. Can you guess why? ऑफिस मेमोरेंडम के में आपको पार्लियामेंट के रोल को, ऑफिस मेमोरेंडम का जो एग्जाम्पल में क्या आपको पार्लियामेंट के रोल को लर्न करते हैं. Since the decision was not taken by Parliament, you might think that Parliament had no role in it. Let us recall the points made earlier by completing the following sentences. The report of Mandal Commission was discussed. Second बताया था मैंने आपको. The President of India mentioned this in his. The Prime Minister made the decision was not directly taken in Parliament, but parliamentary discussion on the report influenced in the shape the decision of the government. They brought pressure on the government to act on the Mandal Commission recommendation. तो इस डिसीज़न को पार्लियामेंट में डायरेक्टली नहीं लिया, लेकिन रिपोर्ट पर पार्लियामेंट्री डिस्कशन ने डिसीजन को शेप दिया. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट पर आती हूँ मैं. वाई डू वी नीड अ पार्लियामेंट? पार्लियामेंट की क्यों ज़रूरत हुई? इन ऑल डेमोक्रेट्स एंड असेंबली elected representative exercise supreme political authority on the behalf of the people in India. Such National Assembly of elected representatives called Parliament. At the state level, this is called legislature or legislature assembly. The name may be very different countries, but such as assembly exists in every democracy. It exercises political authority on behalf of the people in many ways. Parliament is the final authority for making laws in any country. This task of the law making of legislation is so crucial that these assemblies are called legislature. Parliaments all over the world can make new laws, changes existing laws, or abolish existing laws and make new ones in their place. सभी डेमोक्रेसीज़ में इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव की असेंबली सुप्रीम पॉलिटिकल अथॉरिटी होती है जो लोगों की बिहाफ पर रूल करती है. इंडिया में नेशनल असेंबली को पार्लियामेंट कहते हैं. स्टेट लेवल पर इसे लेजिस्लेचर या लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली कहते हैं. पार्लियामेंट किसी भी कंट्री की लॉज बनाने की फाइनल अथॉरिटी होती है. यह ओल्ड लॉज को भी क्या करती है, ख़त्म कर देती है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है टू हाउसेस ऑफ पार्लियामेंट. पार्लियामेंट के दो हाउसेस जो होते हैं उनके बारे में बताया गया है. सिंस पार्लियामेंट प्लेज अ सेंट्रल रोल इन मॉडर्न डेमोक्रेसीज, most large countries divide the role and powers of parliament in two parts. They are called chambers or houses. One house is usually directly elected by the people and exercise the real power on behalf of the people. The second house is usually elected indirectly and performs some special functions The most common work for the second house is to look after the interest of various states design in federal units. In our country, parliament consists of two houses. The two houses are known as the Council of States of the People. The President of India is a part of parliament, although she is not a member of either houses. That is why all laws made in the houses come into force only after they receive the assent of the president. You have read about the Indian Parliament in the earlier classes from the chapter 3. You know how Lok Sabha election take place. Let us recall some key differences between the composition of these two houses of parliament. Answer the following for the Lok Sabha and the Raj Sabha. What is the total number of members? Who elect the members? What is the length of the term in years? Can the houses be dissolved or is permanent? पार्लियामेंट मॉडर्न डेमोक्रेसीज़ में सेंट्रल रोल प्ले करती है. लार्ज कंट्रीज़ में पार्लियामेंट के रोल और पावर्स के दो पार्ट्स होते हैं, डिवाइड किया जाता है. इन्हें चैम्बर ऑफ हाउसेस कहते हैं. एक हाउस जो लोगों से डायरेक्टली इलेक्ट होता है वह लोगों के बिहाफ में रियल पावर को एक्सरसाइज करता है. दूसरा हाउस इनडायरेक्ट इलेक्ट होता है और कुछ स्पेशल फंक्शन को परफॉर्म करता है. हमारी कंट्री में पार्लियामेंट में दो हाउसेस होते हैं, वे काउंसिल ऑफ स्टेट्स और हाउस ऑफ द पीपल. काउंसिल ऑफ स्टेट्स को हम राज्यसभा कहते हैं और हाउस ऑफ द पीपल को लोकसभा कहते हैं. प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज़ अ पार्ट ऑफ पार्लियामेंट. हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन राज्यसभा की कुछ स्पेशल पावर्स देता है, लेकिन लोकसभा सुप्रीम पावर्स को एक्सरसाइज करता है. Any ordinary laws need to be passed by both houses, but if there is a difference, then a joint session of both houses sit together. Lok Sabha exercise more powers in many matters. Raj Sabha cannot reject any money bill. Lok Sabha controls the council of ministers. Only a person who enjoys the support of the majority of the members in Lok Sabha is appointed the prime minister. Now let us start the next topic, political executive. Political executive क्या होते हैं? Do you remember the story of the office memorandum with which we started this chapter? We found out that the person who signed the document did not take this decision. He was only executive the policy decision taken by someone. We noted the role of the prime minister in taking that decision, but we also know that he could not have taken that decision if he did not have support from the Lok Sabha. In that sense, he was only executive the wishes of the parliament. Thus, at different levels of any government, we find functionaries who take day-to-day decisions but do not exercise supreme power on behalf of the people. All those functionaries are collectively known as the executive. They are called executive because they are a change of the executive of the policies of the government. Thus, when we talk about government, we usually mean an executive. गवर्नमेंट के डिफरेंट लेवल्स पर फंक्शनरीज होती हैं जो लोगों के बिहाफ पर डे टू डे डिसीज़न लेती हैं, लेकिन वे सुप्रीम पावर नहीं होती है. ऑल दोज फंक्शनरीज आर कलेक्टिवली नोन एज एग्जीक्यूटिव. इन एग्जीक्यूटिव कहते हैं क्योंकि वे गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज़ का एजुकेशन करती हैं. इसलिए जब हम गवर्नमेंट की बात करते हैं तो इसका मेनली एजुकेटिव होता है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है पॉलिटिकल एंड परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव. In a democratic country, two categories make up the executive. One that is elected by the people for the specific period is called the political executive. Political leaders who take the big decision fall in the categories. In the second categories, people are appointed in the long-term basis. This is called the permanent executive of civil services. Person working in civil services are called civil servants. They remain in office when the ruling party changes. These officers work under political executive and assist them in carrying out the day-to-day admissions. Can you recall the role of political and non-political executive in the case of the office memorandum? You might ask, Why does the political executive have more power than the non-political executive? Why is the minister more powerful than the civil servant? The civil servant is usually more educated and has more expert knowledge of the subject. The advisors working in the finance minister know more about economics than the finance minister. Sometimes the ministers may know very little about the technical matters that come under their ministry. This could easily happen in ministers. गवर्नमेंट के जितने भी डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री में दो कैटेगरीज मिलकर एग्जीक्यूटिव बनाती हैं। एक वो जो लोग द्वारा इलेक्ट होते हैं और कुछ समय के लिए होते हैं, इन्हें हम पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव कहते हैं। और पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स जो बिग डिसीज़न लेते हैं वे इस कैटेगरी में आते हैं। सेकंड कैटेगरी में लोगों की लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए अपॉइंट किया जाता है, जो परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव या चीफ सर्विसेज कहते हैं। वे रूलिंग पार्टी के चेंज होने पर वहीं रहते हैं और ये ऑफिसर्स पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव के अंडर काम करते हैं और उन्हें डे टू डे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में हेल्प करते हैं। डेमोक्रेसी में विल ऑफ हेल्प की सुप्रीम होता है। मिनिस्टर एक इलेक्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है, इसलिए वह लोगों के बिहाफ पर पावर को एग्जीक्यूटिव करता है। मिनिस्टर फाइनली अपने डिसीजन के लिए लोगों को आंसरेबल होता है। मिनिस्टर के मैटर्स में एक्सपर्ट नहीं होता, इसलिए एक्सपर्ट से टेक्निकल मैटर्स में एडवाइस होता है और अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव को ध्यान में रखते हुए डिसीज़न लेता है।